Hello everyone, myself Uday Datrak. I'm planning to teach 100 plus unique security issues in just 20 hours, guys. Search in YouTube for Uday Datrak. I have already uploaded 50 plus videos. Start watching from lesson 0, guys. Otherwise, you may understand the lessons, but you will not be creative. You don't need to have any basic skills, guys. If you can operate a computer or if you can use any social media forum like Facebook, then I will make sure that you can understand all these lessons and you can easily find a job on cyber security, guys. So yeah, now we'll talk about cross-site scripting. I'm trying to focus to train at least for 1 hour or 1.5 hours on cross-site scripting, guys, because we are going to consider lots of things which are very important to check for all the other types of critical issues like SQL injection, malicious file upload and all. You will become like a godfather for one particular security issue, guys. Now if you learn this, you will become very like hardcore expert for to understand all the different types of security issues and also to understand all the different kinds of automation tools, how they work. So make sure that you give very importance to this particular lesson, guys. Yeah, now in the yesterday's lesson we have seen two ways of bypass, I believe. Like one way I don't remember like how many ways, like maybe we gave one uppercase letter and we try to bypass. Now developer will be very smart and he will try to blacklist all the combination of the script tags. Like script, if S is caps it will be blocked, if it is completely caps it is blocked, if it is any of the others, like if it is P is caps it will be blocked, or else if I is caps it will be blocked. All the combinations he will check. So what we'll do is we will try to give one space in the script tags. Okay, now if you could see this one, as I have given space, so if the developer puts a condition to check for all these kinds of combinations of uppercase and lowercase letters, after, by giving a space I can still be able to bypass. So all the time why I am giving alert 1 2 3, I can also give any number here, alert 1. I just want, like, instead of searching on the page, because some pages will be very big, like so instead of searching for the page I want pop-up to come so that I can visually see at a glance. Sorry, some yeah, yes, it's executed. I didn't make any changes. Yes, now another way of bypass is, let me close as you can see, script tags, he's searching for a particular, like like ankle bracket open and closing brace of script. But here if you see, we didn't close this particular tag. Can you see, guys? Yes. So this is another way of bypass, guys. If you could see, what we are doing is we are trying to load a JavaScript from another website which can be used to steal the cookie of the victim and can send it to the attacker itself, so that attacker can log in. So in the basic script, I'll show you, like the pop-up script only. I'll try to show you. This is the someone already uploaded for the basic check, so I'm trying to use this instead of creating a website, going there, it's a waste of time. Can you see, he is directly just alerting the basic cookie itself. Now how to write a code to pop up a, instead of alert 1 2 3, we can also put document.cookie, so that it will print all the cookie values of that particular website, which also includes the session ID. Let's see now. I'm just putting alert document of cookie. At this moment this particular site doesn't have anything cookie because I just cleared the browser history, I believe. Let me try to log in into like one of the application, and MySQL connection refused. Maybe these things yesterday also I saw that, but I forgot to fix. So this is how, guys. So it prints it, because as soon I made a request to the server, it created the session ID, right? That's what. So that's fine. Now you are able to successfully pop up that one. That's fine. That's not a big issue. Another way of bypass is, remember guys, why we need to very important question, how many ways we can bypass? XSS. Remember guys, you should not learn to remember all these ways, because XSS can be bypassed by 1000 plus ways or else 10,000 plus ways. You need to know why. That is very important. I will be discussing. Okay, now as you know, how many ways it can be bypassed in the coding level. First one is weak blacklisting. Like blacklisting means like he is not allowing these characters, or no output encoding, like I cannot converting to HTML entities. Like weak data sanitization. Data sanitization means data removal. For example, what hacker will do is, he will try to pass this script, guys. See, data removal. So in the data removal means he will try to remove the script tags. So now hacker is smart. Whenever the application comes across these script tags, it will try to remove them. So what hacker will do is, he'll put script tags within the script tags. Now what the application will do is, as soon it looks at the script tags, it will try to remove this. Actually this is not a valid piece of code if you see, but what happening is, after removing the script tags by the application, now this becomes the valid script. So this will be executed, something like this. So the developer can use n number of logics, guys. If you check this manually, it will take hundreds of hours and it waste of time. The only thing is that you need to remember like 4 to 5 ways how like theoretically to say in the interviews, or else to understand. So can we execute this only with the script tags? No guys, there are many tags like on mouse equal to, on mouse, on error, iframe, href. Using these tags also, instead of script tags, using these also we can execute the cross-site scripting. So instead of remembering the 1000 things, as I said, now what we're gonna do is, we will try to search in a Google for XSS bypass, and then I have got all this list. I have opened 2-3 list. So what we're gonna do is, we'll try to check like copy, and if you could execute, yeah, this one is getting executed. This is nice. And the next one, see, this is another type. Instead of he's not popping up here, guys, he's trying to create a text area. This is something like this is not getting executed. I'm not talking much about this because I can make it executed too, but the thing is that I don't want to talk at this moment. I'm just showing you now. Yeah, so these are the things. This is how. But as this, let's say this one did not execute, so you should not avoid this, guys. What I'm trying to say is, you need to take all these things and put it in one particular file, like I'm gonna show you now. Now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna use a Burpsuit intruder feature to send 1000 payloads for a particular keyword, for a particular for this particular input field, and see if at least we get one pop-up, or something like if any a link is shown here, then we'll try to say that the script is executed. Like, let's see. you need to, at least being a fresher, I would say that even though some which are not working, for example like this, you need to put in a text file guys, because sometimes, as I said, the website will remove some of the things from here in this, and then this becomes valid and gets executed. So that's the basic thing which I am telling you, so that I am giving one POC evidence so that you can remember. Can you see, using image tag also the attacker can also execute the script tags. See the image here, he is not, this one is actually the executed kind of thing, the image tag is here actually. JavaScript colon alert kind of thing. So now let's say I copied all these things into a file just like this. There is someone who has already given in the GitHub. We have to use the latest one guys. This is somewhere someone uploaded 21 days before. So now I'm going to copy all these things and put it in a text file. How I got this link? Just by searching XSS bypass, the latest results. You should not believe only on one guy. You have to search in 10-20 forums and make a list of 1000 guys. And always search for XSS bypass itself, because there are most of the firewalls are there which are checked constantly blocking the cross-site scripting for the last 10 years by looking up thousands of hack attempts. But every day a new type of bypass is coming up, so you need to update with the latest ones. Now I'm going to like XSS bypass, I'm going to save it in a text file now. This is very interesting guys, because we are not checking manually all these things. So in order to check using automation tool, am I recording? Yeah. Yes, now I'll clear the browser history first, and I'll go to Bob history. It is cleared. Tools, options, proxy. Cross-site scripting is something you should not remember all the thousands of payloads. We call these things as payloads, like a GitHub, whatever we copied, right? Now we set the site. We will try to make a request of this and try to intercept in the burp request to see. The first thing is that first we need to see whether this thing is reflecting or not. Yes, it is reflecting, then there are higher chances of checking for cross-site scripting. Now I'll go to burp. Yes, in the request, and within the response what it is showing. Now take this request guys, right click. If you could see in this particular request, we cannot see any search word which we have sent Uday, but we executed, we entered Uday here only. So what I'm trying to say is that we cannot see the request parameters here, so we cannot use this request for the repeater. Which was the input string we used? Yeah, John. So yeah, that is the word we need to send it to the repeater, and just we'll try to check in the whether our whatever we enter here, it's reflecting or not. I'll try to change it to Uday and see whether Uday is reflecting or not here, because sometimes the response is very big guys, so you can simply enter the word what you entered and you can check here. Yeah, now I'll right click and send to intruder guys. This is interesting. See, now this is the manual approach, like if you are not satisfied by the automation tool, and if you really want to check for this particular, like let's say particular list of payloads, whether they can be successful or not, then let's say you came across 3-4 things, like I want to check these things with really manually, like this you made around 1000 list, but you have only 5 minutes of time. So within 5 minutes you can check thousands of list by putting in a notepad, and which can be reusable throughout your career guys. So this is very important, you need to make a reusability. Yeah, now here as soon as sent to the payloads, yeah, you need to confirm whether the particular site itself, it will be always same. Why I'm saying is, if it's a different site, then they will consider as you are attacking them, which is very highly illegal. So make sure that, yeah, you are testing. Now in this intruder, if you could see, drag this. If it is something went corner, you need to drag this a little here, guys. Now click clear all and select this our input field value, not the parameter value, input field value. Now click on add, yes, go to payloads, select our list. It should be simple payload here now. Yeah, that means what we are trying to say is, whatever the list we are sending, every time, for each time, one by one, send it to this particular, replace this Uday with this one for each request. Yeah, now since it is a demo version, it will be slow, guys. If you have the full version, it will be faster. But so to every company, once you get a job, they will be having at least this, or else there are many Python scripts are available, which we can see later. I don't want to go towards programming, guys. First, I want to give you a confidence that you don't have to spend hundreds of hours to learn cross-site scripting, but if you are aware of the generic things, like how many ways we can bypass, like 1000 ways, based on the, like, if someone blocks script tags, then we can use this other tags like image tags, svg tags. There are thousands of tags are available. Those all can be put in a file and can be checked at a glance. Yeah, and there are smart tools developed over in the last 20 years, so we can use the latest tools. Now before starting the attack, so what it is doing, it is simply sending the request and showing the response. But I want to save all the responses in a particular file, and I'll open it with a what I'm trying to say, I will try to open it with a browser like Firefox. I'll try to sorry guys, now if I click start, what happens, it will send all the requests one by one and shows the responses, but it will not confirm whether the application is vulnerable to cross-site scripting or not. So to confirm it, I want to become a little more smart. So all the responses I will try to save in a HTML file, and I'll right click with and open it with Firefox. If the script is executed, at least one script or anything, I can confirm that application is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. For that, I don't remember these things, like project options, miscellaneous, logging. Yeah, can you see, guys, logging in the project options, miscellaneous? If you go, we will try to save the request, and requests, we don't want to save the request. We'll try to save the response for the intruder itself, because we are using intruder hello.htm and saving it on the desktop. Now if I go back to intruder, and in the intruder feature, you need to, very important guys, uncheck this, encode these characters, because what happening is, these scriptlet tags will be converted into HTML tags while sending to the server HTML entities. So they will become invalid and they will not be executed. So this is very critical step. Start attack. I am trying to do as a like a noobish way, so that I don't follow this approach, guys, but I am showing you so that you will without spending hundreds of hours, you can easily, like, no one will point out you, so that you will be more confident. Now as soon as I clicked on the start button, if you see all the payloads it is sending to Uday, can you see, guys, one by one? Can you see fname? Yeah, the script as it is executed. We can also confirm, like, for example, the third script, what it is. Sorry, which was the file? I closed it again. Here, right, the script, what are we copied, like marquee script src. Like, can you see, guys, script src alert 1 marquee video parser as it is. You need to see whether anything is changed, or like 0 is 0, double quotes is double quotes as it is. So they are not like script tags, you need to, for this, if you see, script tags are as it is, they are not encoded because we unchecked there. Now it checked 41 guys, so if you had full version it would have completed 1000 by this time. Now I'm trying to stop this guys, assuming you should not stop it because I don't want to waste your time. Yeah, now a file is created here. Can you see guys? Now the size is 30 KB. Like even if the file size is 10 MB guys, if you are on 16 MB RAM, it's not a problem. Right click, open with Firefox. Can you see guys, script is executed. Awesome. The application is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Now you need to check which one is that in the payload list, alert, XSS, which one can contain these things. So which function out of these four, which function would have been? So instead of avoiding the duplicates, for example, let's say I closed it, again I'll get a pop-up. Can you see guys? XSS. Again I am getting third, fourth time. Again I am getting fifth time. So in order to avoid these duplicates, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make unique each payload as XSS2, XSS3, XSS4, so that you don't have to rework guys. So this is an awesome approach. Take a 1000 list and try to focus on only on one page guys. You don't need to check on all the pages. If you have time you can check. It hardly takes like 3 to 4 minutes to check for this 1000 guys. And very important thing which I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to focus to train on the freshers itself who wants to get a job on cybersecurity or experienced guys. With these skills, the companies will run behind you and they will give you a job. So and the second thing, I'm coming to the main point. If you are checking for the bug bounty, cross-site scripting on the bug bounty websites, they will not allow use the automated tools like the Burp Suite, which I am telling you, because all these script tags will be stored in the server, right? If it is on the login page, since it is a search page, it's not storing. But there are some applications like Facebook, if you search for something, it will be stored in your activity log. If you check that, that activity log is coming from the server itself. So whatever you are searching also, that also they are storing in the database. So that's very important to know, that you should not use all these things for bug bounty automation tools for bug bounty websites. And second important thing is that you should not use automation tools on the production websites. That means like direct, if someone gives you a website, ask them to create a duplicate version of that website. We call it as a test environment, or else QA environment, quality assurance environment, or else staging environment. That means you can use automation tools and you can flood the database with junk characters. You can do anything. The main production means the customer's database will be there and it will be flooded with there will be confusion between the customer data and your attack vectors, and the server performance may become slow. So never use automation tools directly on the production environment guys. So if you are working for a company, definitely they will create. The only thing is that you need to create a justification saying that I have got thousands of payloads which can be still bypassed in the, like, which are very crucial. If they don't allow you to check all these things, it will take some months of time. It's up to you. Then it's up to them. Like then definitely they will understand this point. Like, because checking these 1000 payloads for one particular page itself will take couple of days. So yeah, now this is one of the approach guys. Now second thing is that which are very important for me, like which I wanted to tell you. When we enter some script tags, right, script alert 1 2 3, yesterday we got a pop-up, but sometimes what happens when you enter, it's because if you could see the proxy history here, the content type matters here, guys. Content type will be by default HTML for most of the site here, but sometimes websites will be very smart. They will try to make sure that the content type will be JSON instead of writing and saying. If it is content type is JSON, right? Even though if you enter the script tags like this, the screen will be reflected back, guys. Remember, very important. But the script will not be executed in the browser, and even if you see the view source, it looks as it is. Like, for example, like it shows as it is, like script alert 123, but script will not be executed because the content type is set as JSON to protect from the cross-site scripting attacks. That's also one thing, right? Because you will be like, frustrated seeing that the script looks proper but it's not getting executed. So that's one of the thing you also need to see. Sometimes script is as it is. If it is not executing, that means it's because of content type. Before reporting the issue, try to by looking at the burp suite, right, we got something like alert excesses in the burp suite, right, after sending the payload. So after seeing that, you need to confirm once again in the browser, guys. So you should not blindly take the screenshot from by opening this particular file and say that application is vulnerable. What I'm trying to say is like this one, no, it did not execute. Maybe this one, no, maybe this could be like XXS or something. What, or maybe, nah, I don't want to waste time, guys. No, just enter it. Just, I don't want to waste time here. You need to check one by one, and once the pop-up comes here, you need to take the screenshot like this window, guys, but not from the direct that file. I covered very important like JSON thing. Second one is like we covered like thousands of payloads. Now from where you can get the payloads, right? Search in Google for XSS bypass, open all the results. Burp suite is the trusted website. So now XSS bypass filters, can you see, guys? Here they have given something like script. This is something interesting, like you need to put all these things from all the websites in particular file itself. Can you see? Yep. Because on the one side, the application code is protecting from the cross-site scripting. Even though application code is not protecting, nowadays most of the applications are hosted in the cloud environment. The cloud means it's a like secured computer in some of the network where they have the firewalls which checks for these particular tags and they will try to bypass it. So they frequently gets updated, and hackers also try to bypass them frequently using some of these approaches. For example, like this one, these things can, for example, these things, attributes, nodes and values. So all these things copy, guys. So you get, now I think you should be able to understand out of this text, is this the tag to, is this a payload? No, right? Is this a payload? No, this is the payload actually. So now you need to take this, you need to come back. You don't have to execute all these things, guys, to confirm. You just have to copy. In this particular page, this is not executing, but some website, what it will do is %00 means null byte character, and they'll remove this. Once they remove this tags, this becomes a valid tag and it will be executed. So you don't have to check each one whether working or not. You have to copy blindly looking at the tags, because we are not hard working here, because understanding the things will screw us. Like there are 3 lines in order, so I'll copy all the 3, but they all came in one line, guys. So this is very important. So all these things will be sent as one string, so I don't want that. I want each thing should be sent separately. Yeah, yes. So now we talked about the how to be smart to check for thousands of payloads. let's stop here, and I'll show you one very interesting cross-site scripting video in the next phase. You should be able to understand what all the payloads are sent by the automation tool to a website. We'll use some open source tools and we see whether are they smart or not, how many they are sending. There are some automated tools are there which can check the whole site directly, guys. So if you run that fast and if it finds at least one cross-site scripting, that's fine. You already found one unique website, one unique security cross-site scripting issue in that particular site. Then you try to go on finding different types of security issues. Once you come across one unique security issue like cross-site scripting at one page, then you try to, if you are working for a company, you try to check for another kind of security issue, guys, because the company has to know the the application is vulnerable to more number of unique security issues, and they can implement the global fix throughout the applications. So you no need to, if you are working for a company, if you have a short amount of time, you don't have to check for only cross-site scripting on waste all the time, guys. So I mean, if you once you find one cross-site scripting issue, that's it, go to the next one. Once you have time, then you can come back and find cross-site scripting at other pages. Yeah, we'll stop here. The next session will be very interesting, guys.